All right, let's check this clip out.
You need to know that the more you get older, the more difficult it is to find somebody.
Especially for girls.
It's not supposed to be pressuring, but it's
Yeah.
supposed to be advice. I don't think anyone's really told me that.
Yeah, they
Younger.
say it in such a negative way. For example, like there's a saying in Japan that girls are Christmas cakes, and
Yeah.
after the 25th of December, they're expired.
That's so crazy.
It's bad. Like they portray it so bad that it forces women to like rebut it and be like, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't think it's true in a sense that women loses worth or is like expired after they're 25. I don't believe that. However, what they're trying to say with that concept
Yeah.
is that it gets harder for women to find a really good man. Yeah. You know, that's not looking for youth. I think it gets easier for men to get married as they get older because they have more money, they're more mature,
Yeah.
and you know, that's what girls look for, like stability,
Yeah.
safety.
Let's
You need to know.
This is the thing. This is the ridiculousness of it. We'll talk about the whole mindset. So, but this is the thing I like to say. I I think it's ridiculous that a lot of women think that they never heard certain things before. I honestly believe women have heard plenty of so many. They've heard it all. They've heard it all, but they ignore it. So, but let's break this shit down.
That the more you get older, the more difficult it is to find somebody.
Especially for girls.
It's not supposed.
Here's the thing. This is something that I'm gonna say this. We have certain, like, let's say certain men in the whole manosphere talking thing where they say that, oh, once you get older, no one wants you. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'll say this. As women get older, it does get harder. It does get harder. But essentially, it gets harder because it's on the women. It gets harder because it's on the women. I've said this before. No matter if a woman is fat or skinny, ugly or pretty, old or young, there will always be men out there that will want them. There will always be men out there that will want them. But will the woman want these men? So this is the problem. As women get older, the men that they want, well, don't really want them. And usually, because the men that these women want are usually the top percent of men. Men that don't have a problem getting women. That's the issue. That's the thing that women don't understand. So as you get older, the men that you want, well, they can have you, who is, let's say hypothetically 40, you're 40. Well, they can have you, but they're also popular enough, desirable enough to get a woman that's in her 30s. Sometimes to get a woman that's in her 20s. That's the thing. Where as you get older, right, the ones that you want you less. And the ones that you want, well, their pools just get bigger and better, or wider as time goes on. Plain and simple.
To be pressuring, but
Yeah.
it's supposed to be advice. I don't think anyone's really told me that.
Yeah, they
And
say
I think that's a lie. I think that's a lie because women know that as they get older, things get harder. But what should be known gets harder because of you, not because of men. Because they, like I said, there will always be men out there that will want women, whatever they are, however stage they are. But the problem is that as you get older, the men that you want you less, and you still want those men, and that's the problem. That's the problem because the men that you don't want, they're in abundance. Those men are there. You just don't want them. But as women get older, they age out to the men that they want.
it in such a negative way. For example, like there's a saying in Japan that girls are Christmas cakes,
Yeah.
and after the 25th of December, they're expired.
That's so crazy.
It's bad. Like they portray it so bad that it forces women to like rebut it and be like, no,
That's the thing, right? I mean, yes, it's not the best sounding thing, but men say that is to light a fire under women. This is the problem with women, right? And where they don't listen. Women have a more imperative time clock than men. Because one of the things men value in women, right? Beauty, youth, fertility. Fertility. Well, it doesn't get better with age. Fertility for women does not get better with age. As she older, she's not more fertile, right? She's not more fertile as she get older. No, she gets less. That's the thing. And that's why it's not like, again, yeah, sometimes maybe it's to be mean, but it's not really to be mean. It's to light a fire under women where, you know what? Yes, this, that, you're 25, things are, you better get hustling. But it's to understand. If you want the men that you want, get them at your prime, right? Where you have the best leverage, right? You're the most fertile, you're the most youthful, you're most likely the most pretty you ever been. In your early to mid 20s, maybe a little bit your late 20s, right? In your 20s, in your prime, get the man that you want. Plain and simple. Be serious. Get the man that you want. That's the true thing, right? Where men say all these things, right? Oh, you hit the wall, all these things. It's just to light a fire under women. It's essentially, in my opinion, it's trying to be helpful, right? Again, men trying to be helpful. Yes, it doesn't sound great in women's ears, but it's to light a fire. Like, you gotta get going. Like, you want the best man you can get? Well, your prime is the best time to get him.
It's not true.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's true in a sense that women loses worth or is like expired after they're 25. I don't believe.
See, that's the thing where women don't understand. Worth. You haven't lost your human worth. But you are losing, decreasing or whatever, your dateable worth. You ain't getting more pretty as you get older. You ain't getting more fertile as you get older. So the values that men basically see, right? The basic values, right? Your beauty, your fertility, it doesn't get better over time. So that worth is decreasing. So yes, you're losing essentially your date market worth over time.
That. However, what they're trying to say with that concept is that it gets harder for women to find a really good man. Yeah, that's not looking for youth. I think it gets easier for men to get married as they get older because they have more money, they're more mature, and
it gets see, that's the thing. Women makes it easy, like sound like it's simple. It took men time to get to become more valuable in women's eyes. So let's say finances. He ain't a six-figure man in his 20s. Like, being six-figure, you gotta, be in your late 30s to maybe your 40s. Yeah, that's what women find valuable, right? Those are the values women find. Men's finances. So, this is the thing where women can't understand. We're different. What women value and what men value are different. Because here's the thing, what women get from men is finances. So they find that valuable. What men get from women, essentially their body, their youth, their fertility, well, that's what men value. It's what we give each other that we find the most valuable. Let's say it was flipped. Women are constantly throwing money at men, constantly paying for dates, paying for trips, paying for presents, paying for everything. Like, men's bills are paid by women. I'm pretty sure men would care about that more, right? Men would, it's the thing. It's how the dating market is. What women give men the easiest is their body. Women will have a harder time paying for men for shit than they would give their body to men. So essentially, well, men value what they get, which is their which is women's bodies.
That's what girls look for, like stability, safety.
So in line with that, let's let's check this one out too.
You need to know that the more you get older, the more difficult it is to find somebody.
Especially for girls, you know.
It's not supposed to be pressuring, but
Yeah.
it's supposed to be advice.
So recently I broke up with my boyfriend and I'm turning 40 in a month. I was really scared to go back to the dating app because everyone's telling me the same thing. Like, the older you get, the less choices you have. My friend was saying that after 40, you're just like, it's like off a cliff. There's literally no.
It's 40 minutes, so I'm gonna stop it and break it down as it goes because it's a little bit long. But this is the thing. Choices is what you make it. So if you, let's say, if these are the same type of men that you were interested before, then most likely you'll be interested in them afterwards. This is it's kind of dependent, right? If you're different, right? If you're not interested in the top percent of men, well, you will have more options as time goes on. Plain and simple.
One on dating app you can even match with. I want to make this video because I just want to say that as a 40-year-old woman recently being on dating app, I'm on Bumble, like, it's not true. I found that good or bad, like my experiences on dating app is very, very similar to my experiences on the same dating app when I was in my early 30s. Actually, the people who you match with are very similar, right? Just think about myself, like people going in and out of relationship. If you're not married, often you go back to the dating app again. And then the quality of men is actually, in one way, it's better because you get older, your finances get better,
But this is something that women have to understand. Whether you match with these men or not, that don't mean nothing. Just like if you have sex with men, it don't mean nothing. It don't. If you can keep these men, right? The accomplishment is not about having sex with these men. The accomplishment is not getting attention from these men, right? If men message you, if men have sex with you, that's not an accomplishment. It is easy. For women to get sex, it is nothing. It's so easy, it's meaningless. But for women to get a man to commit to them long term, now that is actually the accomplishment. So this woman is not really understanding it clearly. Right? Yes, let's say you may match with the same amount of men, same type of men as you did before. But can you get these same men to commit to you? That is the key, where women seem to not understand. Attention is easy for women. I've said this before. There will always be men out there that will want you. It don't matter that you're 40. It don't. It really don't. But are these the men that you want? Two, will you get these men to commit to you long term? Those are the accomplishments. Those are the actual things that matter. Getting men's attention is nothing for women. It is easy.
Career is better, you're more mature. And then of course you're also going to deal with the same shitty behavior, like people gonna ghost you, people gonna lie to you, and all these things. But you're older now, and then you're less willing to take up the bullshit, and you're more quicker to see through people and see through their lies because you have more experiences. And I actually matched with many people, and I went on many dates. One of them is a doctor, another person is a CEO of a company, and another person is like a hedge fund manager. They're all really good day, and they're all very nice. They all pay for the dates. I'm not here to brag or something, but I'm just making this video because
It's not worth a brag unless you got actually a relationship out of these men. It's not women. It's not a brag. It's not a brag that you get to date these men. Hell, there are women that's dating rappers, athletes, all these men that makes a lot of money. Great. But are you getting a long-term commitment from these men? So really, it's not a brag. It's a sad thing that women cannot distinguish attention from men or long-term commitment from men. If these men are paying for dates, Well, who cares? Like, it's nothing to these men, right? It means nothing because they can pay for these dates. They can go out on your date with you. It don't mean that, you know what, you can get long-term commitment from these men. That's more important.
Because I hope someone said this to me 3 years ago when I was in a really bad relationship with my ex. And I'm just so scared to break up with him because I just feel like this is the best I can do. I can never find someone better because I'm getting older, right? If I'm not less scared, I would have break up with this relationship like way faster. I think society holds age against women.
If you, this is the absolute insanity. 3 years ago, a man should tell you that, is this the man that you wanted? This is the man you chose to be in a relationship with, right? Your ex, and that's the insanity of women. So fine, it's not the see. This is the thing where I would. This is the advice I would. I'm not saying that it's impossible for women to get men in their later years. No, but remember, will it be the men that you want, and will the men want you for long-term commitment? Having sex with you doesn't mean that this is the man that you can get, because men will gladly accept some easy sex.
Because we are fighting a losing battle, right? You will never be as young as yourself as yesterday. So that woman will settle and the woman will provide all these labor for the men and for the society. And I just want to say, no one has been 40 years old at 2024. No one has been 35-year-old at 2024. We are all going through these like new era and then new lifestyle together. And then we have to find out and then figure out how to be and like ourselves at this age in this new day and age, and we're all figuring this out all together. So I just want to say that don't listen to these voices, like don't even scared. And also everyone's so different. My aunt just met her boyfriend and the love of her life like 3 years ago, and then they're getting married and she's 65. So you just never know. And then but don't
This is the thing, right? Like, I've said this before. I keep on saying it. I will never tell a woman that you won't find a guy. I won't. But what I would do, right? What I would say to be realistic to a woman, like I've always said, there will always be men out there that will want you. That is not the problem. It's not a problem for you to find a man. Every woman can find a man. Every woman can. But is it the man that you want? Right? Is it the man that you want? And can you get long-term commitment from this man? Those are the two things. Plain and simple. Women think I'm different. I will be different from other men that talk. I want to say that, oh, you're too old. You won't ever get a man. You're gonna die alone. All that shit. No, but you will you will put yourself in a corner where you could, buy a dog and die alone, right? Because you're too hard, right? You're too rigid, right? You're too hard to be with. This is the thing. Her aunt or whatever, she said that, oh, you settled. She may have settled, right? Or she may have like decreased her absurd standards, right? That's the thing. You have to, like, a lot of these women will have to choose, is this the man you want? Because you will find men easy, but will these men be what you want? And if they're not, maybe you will have to change what you wanted.
Don't let these voices try to scare you. When she say, I'm not trying to scare you, this is just advice. That's such a bullshit. You're trying to scare a woman into making choices knowing that they will not be as valuable as what they are before. So I don't know who.
This is the thing. You aren't. You aren't. And like I said, at your prime is the best time to find the best man you can. It does not mean to find a man. No. It is mean to find the best man that you can. Best man that you can. So really, let's say this, right? An auntie that's 65, marrying a man that's like, let's say 60, 65, 70. Okay, a man is that the best man she could have found? Well, probably the best man she could have found now. Or best man that she qualifies for. But is it the best man, right? Is it the highest quality of man you could have gotten if you were 25? That's the thing. No, I do not subscribe to saying that women, you cannot find a man. No, you can't. Again, is it the man that you want? Is it the best man? And these women are absolutely delusional because they want the best type of man, even in their 40s. Here's a woman that's in her 40s. She's still in the dating market. So really, she dated these CEOs, doctors, all these things, but she hasn't gotten a relationship out of it. So really, maybe if she was in 25, she probably could have gotten a relationship out of these men. So that's the thing that women don't understand. Getting a date from a man, getting sex from a man is meaningless. It's not an achievement. It is the lowest bar that women can get, right? It is very easy for women to get sex from men. But are you getting relationships out of these CEOs, these doctors? That's the thing.
Who can see this, but it's not as bad. When you get older, you actually feel better. I start to care less about what people think about me. I start to be more aware of what I need in a relationship. So I feel like when I try to date men and select men, I'm able to filter out all these like men who are not good for me faster. So anyway, that's all I want to say.
You need to know.
This is a thing where I'm glad I react to Kendra G videos. Because it gives me a perspective, right? Because on these Kendra G videos, I have reacted to women in their early 20s to their late 60s or whatever, right? Women young to old. And I can see how these women's future can, or most likely, end up in. Here's a woman that will most likely, higher percentage, end up still in the dating market within her 50s. Because she doesn't understand the concept of what I'm talking about. Because women's standards only get worse, only get higher, a lot of times as they age. But their dating market value does not go along with that higher standards over time. It gets lower. Doesn't mean that their value is zero. I've never said that of any woman having a zero value, but it doesn't get higher over time. But their standards and preferences get higher. Their viewpoints of themselves get higher. They get more egotistical, right? A higher ego doesn't mean their value goes along with it. So again, dating these men, getting sex from these men is not an accomplishment.